This podcast contains excerpts from New Soul Radio shows. For the full listening experience with music, visit newsoulradio.com. That's NUSOL radio.com. This is Soul Say.
The following thoughts and opinions do not represent New Soul Radio, Soul Say and Company, or any of our affiliates, advertisers, or sponsors.
You're listening to Dr. Shirlyn Speaks on newsoulradio.com.
Good evening. This is WSOL New Soul Radio, and this is Dr. Shirlyn Speaks. Guess what, you guys? We had an awesome time last week. And guess what? Yesterday, I was in as a resident therapist for Kim Brio and Gems and Jams. Oh my God, we had a conversation yesterday on burnout, and Kim is still reeling from the conversation because she said I did everything but hit her. I tapped on her shoulder. It was amazing. It was an amazing show. So you got to reach out and you got to listen to it. It'll be on iHeartRadio. It's on Apple Pods. It's everywhere, basically. So we today have a topic that I think is going to take it a level further. I don't know if Kim's ready for this, and she's guest starring with me today. So I want you guys to welcome Kim Brio.
Hey, y'all, and no, I'm not ready.
Too bad. And she's pouting, you guys. She is super pouting. I wish you could see her face. And at some point, you're going to get a chance to see our faces while we do this live. So it's going to be interesting when you see these faces. But Kim is making a face, and she's pouting because she feels like I'm about to beat her up. And I am. So, she, like we said yesterday, she never knows what's about to come out of my mouth. You guys don't either. But the topic for today is about, a drum roll, being a superwoman. And today is about Superwoman Syndrome. Now, how many of us have that? And I know you want me to play the song behind what I just said because there's a song that goes with it.
I'll play it.
And at some point, Kim is going to play that song when we go to pay our bills. But this is so amazing because this is a phenomenon that we have not talked about. But I think it's so important, and it comes on the heels of the show on burnout. And burnout is my specialty. It's what we talk about, and it's what I talk about all the time. And we talked about our own personal stories of burnout. But a lot of us suffer as African American women and women of color, specifically from having the S on our chest. We are superwomen. And Kim is, you should see her face. I'm going to laugh probably during this whole time because it is definitely going to tap her on the shoulder. So let me give you the definition because we want to get into this, and I'm sure that Kim will have some things that she wants to say. But anyway, a superwoman is someone that refers to a woman. We neglect ourselves in order to do it all, and we're perfectionistic. Everything has to be perfect, and we end up stretching ourselves too thin. Does that sound like you, maybe?
Maybe. And then when we stretch ourselves too thin, do it lead to the burnout we talked about?
Oh, absolutely. Oh. There you go. Ding, ding, ding. You get a grade A because that's exactly what happens. So I want to set the stage. And if you say that doesn't even sound like me, I'm not a perfectionist. Yeah, okay. You don't think this fits you. Let's see if this fits you a little bit more. I'm going to be descriptive today. Maybe you're a perfectionist who sets extraordinarily high goals for themselves. Okay. Maybe sounds a little bit like me, right? So much that sometimes your expectations are impossible to reach. Or you're a high achiever, but you always feel left that you could have done a better job. Sound like someone else? Or maybe you're a single mom who feels burdened by financial pressures. So you work so much to provide for your family that you end up neglecting your own self. Sound familiar? No matter what category that you fall into, living with Superwoman Syndrome is exhausting.
Baby. And I can think of more than just myself. When we finish this show and you get me, I'm going to be sending this to a couple other women to get them too. Be like, she got me, she going to get you too. Because we got this bad.
We have this bad. And guess what, y'all? It started back, and I want you to think about it. It started back with women that were even coming out of slavery. And this is something that we've continued to perpetuate. The thing that I hate to hear, and that sometimes I even catch myself saying, I'm strong. I'm the strong black woman.
Oh my God.
And people really, really, really believe that.
Yes, they do.
That we're strong. So guess what they feel? We can take the pain. We can handle it. Exactly. We can take the pain. And this stuff is still perpetuated in medical world. And they believe that our pain, our tolerance for pain is a lot stronger than any other woman. Now, why is that? I'm asking you, why do you think that is? They think that we are the strongest.
It has to be because we've allowed it to happen, because we keep our mouths shut, we take the lashing, the whatever, however you want to say it, and then we don't say anything, and we're resilient. We pick up the pieces and go.
Exactly. So I'm going to talk about the resilient piece. I'm talking about the strong piece as it relates to the superpowers that we hold. And so I want to go there because this is something that we always find ourselves doing. We bend over backwards for people. We've talked about it down through this whole time period of Kim and I being together. We've talked about the resilience. We've talked about all the reciprocity. All the things that we have talked about have led us to this moment. And so I really want you guys to put on your seatbelt, strap yourself in, because if this is going to hit you, this is going to hit you hard. And so I want you to hear it. I want you to be prepared, and I want you to be ready to talk back to us. And you guys really have not used this line, but I'm going to drop the number again for you, 312-945-6376. Again, 312-945-6376. And it's the number for New Soul Radio. Drop us a message. And now, if you want to hear yourself on the radio, and you think this is super fun, and you think that you'll come across good, do that so we can hear you. Maybe you'll end up with your own show. We don't know.
You never know. That's from the station owner. You never know. You better leave a message.
Leave a message. Let us know. So it's interesting because one of the things that we talked about on your show was even finding balance. And that's something that we do not do.
Yes.
So we're going to go there in just a few minutes. But I want to talk about a little bit about what are the things that we do as Black American women. And the thing that we want to talk about is, if you think about it, what was one of the shows, and Kim and I are from different generations, but one of the shows that I watched, if you think about it, what was one of the shows that you watched where you saw a successful African American woman who had it all? She had the husband, she had the children, she had her career.
They never allow us to have it all, especially on the camera. When you first talked about successful Black women, I thought about Living Single, right? But the title is Living Single. The whole premise of the show is that you're not supposed to be able to own a flavor magazine like Khadijah did in the show and still have a full life. That we just have to be like these strong single Black women together because nobody else has us. That's the premise that it kind of gave off.
Exactly. But there was a show before it that was in my generation a little bit more than yours. And it was the show where there was Felicia Rashad playing the strong woman. And it was the Cosby Show.
The Cosby Show, yes.
So most of us that are in our 40s were thinking back then like she has it all. She has the husband who's a professional. She's a professional. She has these children.
Beautiful
She has
house.
a career, the beautiful house, the family that gets along well together, the in-laws. And so in my mind, she has it all. Why can't I?
Right.
Why can't I?
Right.
And with that came all these levels of she works, she knows different languages, she's beautiful, they have this wonderful marriage, you could rarely see them fighting or arguing.
She's an involved mom.
She's an
How
involved
do you
mom.
do all of that at the same time?
How do you do all of that at the same time? Yet, rarely did you ever see her spend time or take time for herself, if you think about it. No, you didn't.
When we ever did see her do that, it was almost, if you think about it, if you remember her room episode, it was that she didn't take time or space for herself so much that she needed to do the extreme, and she needed this room, and couldn't nobody come in here, and it was one extreme or the other, because we don't.
Yeah. Exactly. So I'm hoping I see Kim's light bulb going off.
And maybe a little bit.
And she rolled her eyes at me, y'all. But I'm telling everything today. So whatever she does, I'm telling you. So if we think about that, that is one of the things that inspired most of us, a generation of us, to actually try to get to that level. Like, we really wanted to be Claire Huxtable because she was a successful role model for one of the first times on TV. She wasn't playing the welfare queen. She wasn't playing
the
maid. She wasn't playing all these stereotypical roles of us. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with people that are on assistance. I want to say that. But it is if you think about it, the movies that we see, the things that are on shows and all these, it's a demeaning role for us as African American women. And so one of the things that we have to see and we were looking at is Claire Huxtable. That was the place in that we could go that we felt safe when it came on Thursday nights. And then after that was born A Different World. And so A Different World came on after that, and we saw the kids that were in college that were someday going to be us.
Yeah.
And
the Whitleys.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Whitley was one of my favorite characters.
Me too.
So I love Whitley Gilbert. And so one of the things that we talk about again is going to college. It was never a question about it for me, whether I was going to go or I wasn't going. Because I always knew if I wanted to be like Claire Huxtable, that was something I was going to have to do. I was going to have the advanced degree. I probably would meet my husband at college, and I did.
Yep.
And I did.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that we look at and we're talking about, there are like 5 key points when you're talking about Superwoman Syndrome. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things that we talk about is that we have the obligation to present an image of strength. And so we kind of started talking about this. We always, now I will tell you myself, I am the world's worst. I'm always multitasking like an octopus. And it is crazy because I don't take the time to feel things. And we talked about it.
Right.
So I can remember going in to have a procedure done. And my doctor's like, you need to ensure that I'm going to give you a little numbness, but this is painful. And so you need to distract yourself. The crazy Shirlyn. Guess what Shirlyn did, Kim?
Oh, Lord.
Worked during the procedure.
I know you did.
I had on my earpiece.
And I can't even judge you because that's what I would have did. If they said you need to do something to distract your time. Oh, perfect. I have some distractions.
Let's do this. So I'm in the middle of a conference call when they're doing a procedure on my body. And my doctor is looking up and she's looking at my face. And they are putting this whole procedure together, doing things, and they're talking, and this is like a mini surgery.
Right.
And so, it was a very sensitive area, and she's looking at me like, how in the heck are you doing this? Like, any other woman would have been screaming or hollering, but you laying on the table like nothing is wrong, like it's not even hurting you. And I was like, you told me to distract myself. So I did.
Well, Black women have normalized pain.
Absolutely.
To a certain point that it's unhealthy, because even as I heard you a few moments ago talk about how we have to put that strong mentality out there, I think about some of my friends who are even Black women, right? And a big part of my brand is I want to be vulnerable with people. But Black women see that as, what the hell are you doing? You're not supposed to say that. You on your P's and Q's all the time. Don't nobody need to know what you got going. And it's like, I understand now, having this conversation with you on a whole nother level.
Yes.
Why it's that way.
Yes. And we can't be transparent because it shows a weakness in our shield. So I want to tell you, you think about it in Wonder Woman and all the characters that we looked up to, the S on your chest as a Superwoman, all those things, we could not be vulnerable. We cannot be vulnerable. We cannot be transparent because it shows a level of weakness. And we cannot show weakness to the world. So as we do that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to pay some bills. And we're going to come back and we're going to talk about how we suppress our emotions.
Supporters of this show can join us on Patreon, where for only $5 a month, you can access all past shows and exclusive content. Join now at patreon.com/SoulSayCo. That's patreon.com/SOLSEICO. Want to answer one of our questions? Or have a song or artist request? Or do you just want to leave us some feedback? Call the New Soul Radio voicemail at 312-945-6376. That's 312-945-6376. Remember, we may play your message on air.
Take New Soul Radio with you wherever you go. Download the New Soul Radio app in the Google Play or Apple App Store by searching New Soul Radio. That's NUSOL Radio.
Welcome back to Dr. Shirlyn Speaks. This is WSOL, New Soul Radio. So, as we were talking a few minutes ago, and we were talking about this image that we have to present to the world, this image of strength, that's how people see us. When things go on, oh, she's going to be okay because she's strong. Oh my gosh, she just had a death in her family. She had a loss of her job. Her house just burned down. She just lost her car. But that's okay. She's going to be okay because she's strong.
She's strong. She got this.
She's got this. And so I want
I'm so tired of being strong.
I know. So that's the point. We all have all this thing about being strong. Oh, be strong. When someone passes away, be strong. Don't cry. Be strong. That's the first thing that people tell you. As if they're not human. As if you're not human. And so that's what I'm talking about with African American women particularly. Yes. Because they don't want us to be human.
No. Even in the things that they have set up to where, yes, black women are the most educated women in the country. And don't get me wrong, I'm not taking anything away from that statistic. However, I think that it bleeds directly into what we're talking about, to where it's like, it's almost like, yeah, we'll pay for her to go to school. We'll do all of this because she's going to work till she can't work no more.
Exactly. And so one of the things that my mom used to say, because she was one of those people and she was an executive in her career, she was like, she's just working. She's at home. She has these kids. Her husband passed away, so she's a single mother now. She had my support when I was able to come on the weekends to assist with the kids. Oh my goodness, she was just doing everything and living life and doing the stuff that she had to do. And she was flying out for business and flying back the next day and all these things. And she was told, be strong.
Because that's clearly going to solve everything.
Because
right
it's
there.
Clearly going to solve everything.
You know, you got it.
Exactly. So you got it. And that's what people tend to want to say. Again, going back to the medical field. When we are having difficulties or we're having problems, they are going to give us less anesthesia, less this, less that.
Pain meds.
Less pain meds. Oh my God. I have a condition that is the most painful condition known to man. And it's a serious condition. And when you look it up in a medical book, they tell you how difficult it is and how painful it is. And when I talk to my doctor and I'm like, I'm feeling this breakthrough pain, they want to give you 2 or 3 pills that's not going to work for you. How are you going to tell me what's exactly? How are you going to tell me what's going to work for me? You don't feel this pain. And so my question always is do you have trigeminal neuralgia? No. Do you know how it feels? No. So why are you telling me what's going to make me feel better?
Or what's going to work or not work? Even as you tell this story, I think about mine wasn't in the medical field. It was at my old job. It was a salaried job, which is, in my opinion, the biggest butt kick ever if it's not a good salary, because they can take you for everything you got and all your hours for whatever they paying you. And it wasn't the highest salary in the world, let's be clear. And I went in to work one day and I wasn't feeling good. And I'll never forget my Caucasian boss, who was co-owner of the company. I went to make myself some coffee, so I made her some coffee too. And I said, well, what do you want in your coffee? How do you want your coffee? I want it strong and black, just like you.
And she thought that was the thing to say, right?
She thought, not only did she think it was the thing to say, she proceeded to use that as an example when she would have difficult tasks for me to do, or be like, I need you to sell this many in this short amount of time. But you could do it. You're Kim. You got this. You're a strong black woman. You're not going to weaponize me with that. It began to feel not like a compliment and more of a burden.
Exactly. So that's where I'm going with this, Kim. It's a burden. It's a burden for us. We think that it's a compliment. Oh, I'm strong. But at the end of the day, we're wearing that like a superhero cape. Mm-hmm. And now it's time to take the cape off. So we're going to talk about how we're going to unpack that and how we're going to move forward from wearing this cape. And then being weighed down with the strong black woman. It's like an albatross around your neck.
It really is.
So you guys can't see Kim's face, but we're talking about this. Then we say the next thing is, this is the second thing, the obligation to suppress your emotions. We cannot have anything different from anybody else. When I say the emotions, we can't get angry. Mm-mm. And so you guys have seen all the different episodes of people that are labeled Karens and the people that they've come into contact with. And if you remember, just a few months ago, there was an issue with a young lady who had gone into Victoria's Secret.
Yep.
And so she was calmly talking to this lady who was hysterical the whole time.
I mean, to the point where she laid on the ground crying hysterical.
She hit me. She touched me. The lady was nowhere near her.
And we know that because the lady was holding the phone. And if you're 5 feet away from the phone and the lady's holding the phone, she couldn't have hit you.
Correctly. So correct. And I said correctly, but correct. And so, but that's what I'm saying. So if she had gotten upset and she had that issue and she was the one laying on the floor, it would have been more said. We would have had more information that would have been shared. Police would have definitely been called.
It would have been on the news. The police would have came. They would have said it was a hostage situation and all kind of mess. For real.
Absolutely. So that's the point. Our emotions always have to be calm. Because if we get angry, then we become the angry black woman. And we're going to talk about that at another time. So our emotions always have to remain at a certain level because people are very threatened by us.
Yes.
Very
just our existence.
Exactly. So in being in roles where we are, like you said, the population that has the highest degrees and the level of degrees, sometimes that plays into our downfall in lots of ways. And I say that because one of the things that we tend to do is that we reach that status and we reach that level and we're not allowed to have any emotion because we just have to coast. We have to be at status quo because you cannot show emotion. People are threatened by that. And so if I get upset and I'm Dr. Garrett and I'm out in public, I'm viewed a whole nother way.
Yeah.
I can't say certain things.
And the crazy part, as I listen to you say it, even with me, with a lot of what I have going on, a lot of times I can't even show emotion, and it's text, it's on Facebook, it's just a status. I'm like, y'all can feel the anger through the status. I just said words. Why are you perceiving me expressing something as a problem?
Exactly. And you have to be careful about what you post. So some other people would go ahead and they would post whatever it is that they want to post. But we cannot do that. Mm-mm. We can't do that because it is taken as threats. It's taken as you are just being downright rude. You can't.
You in your feelings.
You're in your feelings. Exactly. So you have to, whereas some people will go ahead and post whatever they want to. People see it. It's not a big deal. But if we do that, it creates a whole nother situation.
It's a hullabaloo, girl.
It is. And so I want you guys to think about that. The other thing is that we feel like, the third thing is that we resist vulnerability or help from others. Now, I won't say some people in the room just put their head down because I know that this kicks them in the rear. And so the thing is that we do not want help. I'm going to just do it myself. I'm going to just do it myself.
God. I'm about to kick you out of this studio.
No, I need to finish this show first. But the thing is that we have to do it ourselves. And so if that means I have worked a 12-hour day and I come home and my house is turned upside down and it looks like a hurricane went through it, guess what? I'm going to have the thing to do. My thing to do is I got to come in and try to help clean it up.
You got to clean it up.
It can't stay that way. Because we were raised that you cannot go to bed if
with
your house
dirty.
With the house dirty.
Or dishes in the sink.
Or dishes in the sink.
Yeah.
Yes. So If I come home and someone hasn't eaten, guess what? Where am I going? Straight to the kitchen.
But this is my question. Why is it on black women to do and play every role? Because it's so overwhelming, because it's like, y'all want me to be the CEO. Mm-hmm. Y'all want me to run stuff. You want me to be the doctor. You want me to be the lawyer. Then you want me to be the mama. Then you want me to be the great auntie. Then you want me to be the great friend. You want me to be the great sister. And I got to clean up and I got to cook. And don't, like, if I do hire Mary maids, I'm lazy. Mm-hmm. Like, why is so much required of us to just exist?
Because this started long ago, and I want you to go back to slavery times. And Kim is going to play one of our favorite songs, and one of my favorite songs that came from the movie Harriet. Because one of the things is, if you think back to it, we always have been the ones to be responsible for everyone. Everyone. We cooked for them. We breastfed their babies. We nannied their babies. And I say nanny because that's the term I choose to use. We were out in the fields. We were doing every single thing. And we've always, and as they ripped the babies out of our hands, what did we do? We cried, and then we got right back to work.
And raised another one.
So those are the things that I'm saying. Is like, we've always had this level of strength. We've always had this thing placed upon us. And it is an albatross around your neck. It's something that if you let it, it will drown you, Kim. It will drown you.
I noticed.
Right. I wonder why. But we're not going to talk about it at the moment. But the help from other people. I used to feel extremely guilty being a mother, being an executive, being in school, being all these things. And I was taking time away from my son. And guess who I never spent time with?
You.
I never spent time with Shirlyn.
Yep.
Because I was so busy. I had to go to church. I had to do things there. I had to do things with my son. I couldn't miss a game. I needed to make sure that I was spending time with my family.
And that's not even touching on your career.
That's not even touching on my career. And my career was my thing. And so I had all of these things. And so at this point in time, I could just lay her down. I was a sister. I was an aunt. I was a great aunt. I was all these things to all these people, not to mention a friend. And so I failed at some of the stuff. I'm not going to say I made it to everything, every event. People couldn't understand when I was doing a doctorate that I couldn't be at your event. If I did come, I could be there for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 30 minutes, and I had to go because I'm studying. Mm-hmm. And so, you get this pushback and backlash. I would have been there for you and blah, blah, blah. Do you understand what I'm going through? Do you understand the things that are coming out of my mouth?
They really don't.
They didn't understand. And so got all this pushback. And at the end of the day, the person that I was left with was me. It was me. And I had to address being able to do what it is that I needed to do. Be strong. Be resilient. Not feel. And if I did feel, I couldn't show it.
You couldn't show it, exactly.
I could not show it. And I had to strap on my S on my chest, and I had to wear it around my neck. I had to put my cape on. I had to put all those things on and be left to be within my feelings within myself, but don't share it. Don't ask for help.
Ooh. I feel so guilty with that. I feel so guilty. I feel so convicted with that because I'm the queen of not asking for help. I will even turn down help. But I'm also simultaneously the first person who volunteers to help.
Exactly.
And I don't know. Then it's like I have to blame myself because then I'm in situations where I need help. And I'm like, ain't nobody here to help me. Well, they used to you saying no. So they're just at the point where if she needs me, she'll come ask.
Exactly.
And I'm never going to ask.
Exactly. So, but people that know you know that, right? So then they just have to force themselves on you.
Yes.
Because that's the only way that you're going to have anything done. And that they're going to be able to help you. So I'm also that person that's not asking for help at some point. But I finally let it dawn on me, learn to delegate.
Yeah.
Learn to delegate. When my son got to high school and I needed help, I'm like, dude, you got chores.
But part of the delegation thing for Black women, too, is the perfectionist piece.
Exactly.
Because if we delegate, we want to know that it's going to be done in the manner that we would have done it.
But is that not a sense of arrogance?
It is.
Oh, okay.
It's very unhealthy.
Okay, it's very unhealthy.
It's very
unhealthy.
So
that causes all of these things with this perfection, being perfectionistic. We have all of these things that go on with our bodies as well. So do we need to talk about the high blood pressure that we have because we're up till midnight or 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning doing things that we feel like nobody else can do better than us?
And then got to get up at 6 or 7.
Exactly, because we got to get our kids ready for school. We have to get ourselves ready first. So if we're getting them up at 7, we have to get up at 6 because we have to make sure that I'm okay. I'm dressed. I'm ready to roll out the door because at 7 o'clock we got to roll.
Just like in the example with your airport thing, you got to get up and put your mask on first so you can wake them up to put their mask on them.
Exactly. So that's where we're coming from. Mm-hmm. We always have to do everything. And if I just went to bed at 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning and I have to be up at 6, that's 5 hours of sleep. What is my body going to do? On the weekend, I'm exhausted, but I'm expected
to still be. You got to be the friend, the sister, the mama. You have to play all these extra additional roles.
Got to be the days off. The lover.
Yes,
all of these things. Exactly. You don't get a day off, and don't expect to get one because at the end of the day, this is us being perfectionists.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Why do some Black women recognize everything that we're saying, right? Because I can even hear some of my friends, they recognize it and they wear it as a badge of honor.
Because we're taught to. My mama did it this way. My grandmother did it this way. The people in my life do it this way. Why wouldn't I do it this way? Because they're successful. Right? They've been successful. But what people don't see is the other side of it. When I can lay myself on a table and have a procedure, not be in pain, knowing I'm in pain, I'm not screaming or yelling, but I'm having a meeting, a full-blown meeting on the cell phone with my earpieces in and not yell. And the person down the hall, you can hear them clearly. Like, oh, having a similar procedure and I'm just laying there. No wonder they think that I'm strong. No wonder they think that.
We've done it to ourselves.
We have done it to ourselves. And that's the thing. We've continued to perpetuate that level and that standard.
Yes. That's the thing. It's not even that we didn't fight back against it. We took it and ran with it. It was like, perfect. This is the stereotype you want to go with. We got it. We got it from here.
This is what we do. So that's the thing that is so apparent to me now. And so in the next coming months, I'm doing quite a few presentations on this and on this topic. And so I am really getting into it. I'm doing more research on it. And it is interesting. Now, there's a different piece because we talk about it from being, this also affects just women in general.
Yes.
But it's a whole nother level of Black women and having this, having our capes on.
Oh, yeah.
And having it on our chest as well.
We've had our capes on so long, I don't think we would know what it would be like to not have it on.
Exactly. And so that is scary because we are not willing to take it off.
I don't even know what that would look like.
Exactly. And so as I'm getting older, one of the things that we were talking about even yesterday is being willing to change kind of some of the things that I have been doing. And over the last 4 or 5 years, there's some things that I just refuse to do anymore. I don't feel guilty by taking a vacation and not taking somebody with me. I don't have to have a family vacation. I can go on vacation with my girlfriends and
or
be
by
super
yourself.
Cool. Or by myself and be cool. I don't have to have somebody with me.
Yeah.
I don't have to make it I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to attend every game, every function, every this, every that. Take some time for Shirlyn, Maria, and be okay with Shirlyn, Maria. That's it. Period.
There's no extra.
There's no explanation. I'm not going to be able to make it. Those are my things. I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm sorry. And that's it. Or I don't even have to say I'm sorry.
I was just going and I will say to the women that are listening to this that relate to this, and also don't be me and feel like you have to offer an explanation. No is a complete sentence.
And so we're going to be talking about that in a few minutes. Mm-hmm. No is a complete sentence is correct. Mm-hmm. And so the next item, number 4, is we have the motivation to succeed against the odds. And that is true for every single thing that we've talked about. With the level of education, I'm going to get my education. We will be at the doctoral level. We will be getting our master's degrees. We will be doing all of this stuff and continuing to do all the things that we do at home, all the things that we do at work, all the things for other people instead of ourselves, and delegating to people who can handle these situations. And we just have this ability to try to make it. And I think we look back at the women that were in our lives previously. I know for me, looking back at my grandmother was amazing. And my grandmother brought me home from the hospital, and she had raised her children. And my mom was there, but my mom ended up working out of the state, and they kept me. My grandparents raised me, and they reared me. And my grandmother, I watched her go to work at 7 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning. She would leave to go to work, and by that time, she had gotten up, she gotten herself ready, she made sure that I was taken care of, and she combed my hair, and she made sure that my breakfast was hot every single morning. Before she walked out the door, she had cooked a meal.
And let's be clear, especially with black women, if she did it for you, she was making sure her man was good too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because no matter, that is, oh my gosh, it's so big because a black woman will make sure that he eats. And she will go to work and not have ate it all.
And that's exactly what the truth was. So she would walk out of the door at 6:30 in the morning, head to work her full job. And because I was the spoiled little bougie kid that I am now, the adult of, she made sure I had everything I needed and then the things that I wanted. Mm-hmm. So she would work another job. And she would come and she would pick me up because I had orchestra rehearsal. And then she would go home and she would do all things around the house. And she would, you go do your homework, you go do this, you go do that. And then she was still working on other things and other tasks. And then finally, she hit the bed. And I was just thinking about how amazing she was as a woman because she never stopped. Yeah. She never took a deep breath. She never stopped.
But why do we glorify that?
Exactly. But I know where it came from. And so I watched her do it. So guess what I decided I was going to do? The same thing.
And that's what I watched my mama do. So which is why I decided to do
the same thing. So it's a pattern. It's a pattern of behavior.
Yeah.
And so those are some things that I just want to put out there for us to think about. And of course, at the end, I'm going to tie it all together. But I'm gonna name the 5 things again that we need to be looking into, but and thinking about for ourselves. But the things that are meaning the most are the things that we're talking about now. The other thing is that we put everybody before ourselves. That's number 5. Put everybody before ourselves. And so Kim and I were laughing yesterday when we were talking about this. Our arms could be broken in a sling. We could be dragging. It can be hanging on by a thread. You are going to take care of everybody else before you take care of you.
And if you don't end up taking care of everybody else or do it halfway, they have the audacity to be like, that wasn't perfect, right?
Right. And have the nerve to hold you accountable to it.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait a minute, my arm is in a sling.
I didn't even have to do nothing.
I had to do nothing. But they don't see that because they're used to you doing it. Doing everything. And when you change up the game, they get mad.
Oh, I'm the villain.
You become the villain. Absolutely. So if you change up the game, you have the audacity to change the game. Oh, it's a problem.
Yeah.
So you put yourself first. You went to the doctor to see about yourself. You decided to go on vacation without me. You did this. Oh, no, this is not working for me. Mm-hmm. So, because I'm used to you being there for me. I'm used to you doing everything that I ask you to do.
Without question.
So,
if you say no, it's something wrong and you the wrong in this because that is not what you typically say.
Exactly. So, that's the thing. So guess what, guys? We got to go pay a few bills, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
If you have what it takes to host your own radio show, hit us up at teamsosay.com and drop your info. That's teamsosay.com.
SOLSCI. So say. Imagine that this radio spot is about your business.
It's easier than you think.
Text 630-465-5742 to get started. That's 630-465-5742.
Want more dope content? Check out Sosay's YouTube by searching Sosay on that Sosay Chicago.
And we're back with WSOL New Soul Radio. This is Dr. Shirlyn. So at this point, you guys, I hope that you have decided that you're going to call in at 312-945-6376. Again, 312-945-6376. Now I have a question. The question, and I'm going to hit Kim with this real quick. And I want her to tell me what's the first thing that comes up.
In.
No, you can't call in. You in the studio now. You looking me in my face. So the question of the day is, what's your greatest superpower? Now, if you're friends with me on Facebook, I posted this question, and I know Kim avoided it. So too bad. She's gonna get to answer it live for you guys. But what is your greatest superpower? We talk about having an S on your chest and wearing a cape. What is your greatest superpower?
My large skill set.
Your large skill set.
Because I can touch and do lots of different things from different industries myself. I don't have to outsource to people, which is a bad thing too. But I'm about to let you rip me one on air real quick. Y'all about to watch my demise. Go ahead.
I'm gonna come back to you. I'm gonna let you make it for a few minutes. But that's the thing, like, if you ask people what their greatest superpower is, I was looking at people's response to the question that I posted, and somebody said love. That's the greatest superpower. Somebody else said, I'm able to see between people's BS. I can see it coming.
Discernment.
I have discernment, exactly. Somebody else was saying that they're able to love no matter what. Somebody else was saying things like, kind of like their skill set, their ability to work with anyone. So they were saying those things. And one of the things, what I would say one of my greatest superpowers is faith. I have faith. And so I step out on faith often. Sometimes, and it gets a little rocky sometimes, but I have to get myself back together, and then I step out on faith. But I want you guys to answer that question for yourself. Think about, what is your greatest superpower? Even though we're talking about the cape and wearing the S on your chest, what is the one thing that you would say about yourself that's your superpower? So let's get back to this a little bit, Kim. We have a network of stress. She's rubbing her face, y'all.
She coming at me. No, but you're right. You're right. We do. Unpack this network for me, because I definitely got the stress. Unpack the network.
Okay, so everyone else's problem becomes our problem.
Oh, that's accurate.
Okay, so, I don't have money for this. Can I borrow $200?
Now I got to figure out how to find money for you to do this.
Exactly.
Or you forgot to do this, so now it's my problem, and I do this a lot as a professional
Excellent.
too. Oh my gosh,
Exactly.
I'm having an epiphany on air. I do this a lot as a professional too, where the clients will forget or wait until the last minute for what they need to do, and then they call me, and I then make their problem my problem.
Exactly.
So I'm up until 3:34 in the morning, no sleep, doing what they need to get done, and it's not my problem.
And what does it cause you, Kim?
Stress.
And what else does it cause you, Kim?
Health issues.
And there we go. And there we go. So that's the connection to it.
Because they don't know my whole story.
They don't know
my whole story.
I know your story. They don't know your story. But it's connected to everyone else's issues become your problem.
Mm-hmm. And I carry them.
And
like
you
them bags like you be talking about.
Exactly. So we talked about this, and we've said this a couple of times. I have all the luggage from all the relationships that I've been in. Oh my God. Oh my God. My car probably was packed to the top with bags on top of it. I had some things strapped to my back. I had some things strapped to my front. Just carrying all this stuff around. And I refuse to do that anymore. I refuse to do that. So everyone else's network of stress is not going to entangle me anymore. I refuse to do it. And so I said this yesterday on your show. My thing is now to look at, if you're not bringing peace to my life,
you could keep it moving.
Keep it moving. Keep it moving.
And I'm learning to get to that point. I definitely have a big thing with, and I think a lot of black women do too, with people pleasing.
Absolutely.
And wanting everyone to be happy with us. So even if I want to make a decision for me, I don't make it because someone else may not be happy.
Exactly.
With that decision.
And so when do we get to the point where we say, you know what? This decision is not about you. This is about me. And what do I have to do for myself to be happy? Mm-hmm. And people think, oh, that's selfish. No, it's not. Sometimes you have to be selfish for yourself to be able to survive.
And then even if you go back to one of your favorite analogies you always give, where you have to, if you're going to give, you have to pour from your overflow.
Exactly.
You can't pour from your cup. If I'm not okay and I'm not taking care of myself, how am I going to have enough to give you?
Exactly. And that's the thing that we don't get. So we talk about, again, having the half empty, half full technique, and we talk about that all the time. Guess what? If it's half full and I give you half of what's in there, I'm depleted. Mm-hmm. I'm depleted.
Yeah, yeah.
So I can't do anything
and
for you.
And you still don't have enough to move forward.
Exactly. So that's what I keep trying to get over to people and have people understand. One of the other things is that we talk about, can we have it all? And what does having it all look like? And so again, you're thinking about the S, thinking about the K. What does having it all look like for you? Those are questions that I'm just, putting out there. No particular reason. Kim's looking at the door.
Well, no, I'm gonna tell you why I said that, because I'm gonna say this, and you're gonna make this a note. I already know, and this is gonna be a show in the future because it's a whole different thing. Mm-hmm. But the world has taught me that quote unquote successful black women like myself, who are trying to start businesses and have spaces and be CEOs, that we can't have families, we can't have relationships, we can't have that. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what it's been told. And I've even been told by some of my male counterparts that the reason that I'm single is because I'm ambitious. Like I have to pick.
What?
Like I have to pick, either you're going to be ambitious and try to do all this stuff, or you're gonna have a man, because you can't do both.
And that's so unfair. And that's a lie. That is really truly a lie. Because the thing is that when you meet that person, you hopefully are in alignment with them. And there are men that are very much the people as your partners who understand that your whole fulfillment does not come with being someone's wife. Woman. Yeah. So the thing is that you cannot get everything you need from one person. You can't even do that in friendships. Mm-hmm. Because even as a friend, I can't meet every need that you have. Mm-hmm. Your man cannot meet every need that you have. Mm-hmm. And so when we come to realize that, we start feeling, Shirlyn meets this need over here. She's my friend. She's my good girlfriend. I can go to her for sage advice. My friend Kim, she has all the skill. She can do this, and this. But Kim and I can hang out together. We can go kick it together. My friend Pharaoh, he's good at this. Mm-hmm. I can have him do that. My girlfriend Kelly, she's good at this. What we come to realize is that every friendship, every relationship that we have does not meet all of our needs. There's no one person that is going to meet every need and check it off on your checkbox. That's a whole word. It's a word. And I came to realization of that I have to have different people for different seasons and different reasons and different times in my life. And it's okay.
That's the part right there. And it's okay.
Exactly. So you have to give yourself, again, the permission to be in that space. And the grace to be there. And so that's the thing that I think that we don't do. We don't give ourselves enough grace. And we hold ourselves to a whole nother standard that other people aren't holding us to, but it's in our imaginary, and it's an imaginary thing for us. We have to cross this line. We have to hold this line up. We have to do this. Guys, listen to me. We are making ourselves sick.
And you know what else? As you said that, what made it just hit me too?
What?
They do hold us to those standards, but they don't hold themselves to those standards.
Oh!
Because they be like, she got it though. I know I couldn't do it. She got it though.
But why do they do that?
Because we set them up to allow them to feel that way.
Exactly. We did it to ourselves.
Yeah.
We continue to dawn without stopping it.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that I keep wanting to have people hear. One of the things is that, what do they say about us? We're nurturers by nature.
Yeah.
Not naughty by nature, y'all. Nurturers by nature.
The naughty was learned. Y'all made us be that way.
Exactly. And so we gotta always feel like we're good. We gotta always feel that way. And so knowing that things don't have to always be good, things don't always have to be at our best. Things we feel like we have to do those things, and we've talked about it all the way through this. Sometimes it doesn't always serve us in that way. We have to make sure that some of the things that we're doing serve our interests as well. Lots of times we're trying to serve other people's best interests, not our own. And we feel guilty when we serve our own interests.
How dare you?
How dare you, Kim? How dare you? So one of the things is that we don't even know ourselves anymore. And I said this yesterday when we were going into burnout, and you guys should see Kim. She's tucked herself in a cocoon because I think I'm hitting her some kind of way. Is that we don't know ourselves. We do not know ourselves. And so the thing is that we have to get back to the point of where you know yourself. You're getting to know yourself. You have to get into a place where you have to have come to the point of where you know what you're thinking, you know what you want, your realizations about what life really is and really is what it is for you.
That's the key right there. Whoever's listening and y'all are feeling, y'all might have just felt that gut punch like me. You know, I did that because so many women don't even know what we like. If you ask there's so many times, if you ask me what I like, I don't know, but I can tell you what everybody else around me likes.
Exactly.
But I don't know what I like.
But and so I've seen, now you guys, I think I told you this, I have a guilty pleasure of TikTok. I watch TikTok for hours. I got up this morning because I went to bed early, and I got up this morning and I turned TikTok on at 2 o'clock in the morning. And y'all said, what is she doing up at 2 o'clock in the morning? I don't know, but I was up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I just be up, right? So 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm watching TikTok, and I saw this guy come on. And he was asking his girlfriend, what do you want to eat? Nothing. Now, y'all.
You knew that was a lie when she said
You knew that was a lie. Oh, my God.
We don't know what we want because we're so used to having whatever he wants or they want or the kids want that when you ask us,
whose fault is that?
Ours.
Exactly. So that's, again, the accountability that we're talking about. You can't take Shirlyn to a restaurant and Shirlyn not tell you what she wants.
I'm about to put you out again.
Okay, I'm getting put out. All right, well, I'm going to put it like, before I leave, though, I'm going to finish this show. And then if she don't have me back, you guys know where I am, okay? But this is self-knowledge of who are you really? Who are you really? And I think that we have gotten to the point of where we stepped away from that and we do not know ourselves. I know what I want. I don't care that you don't like what I'm telling you what I want. I don't care. And so as I'm moving into another decade, and I've gotten to the decade of where some people say, oh my God, if you become any more like your grandmother was or anything like your mom where they just say what they want to, you're going to be in trouble. We're going to be dangerous. I'm going to be dangerous. So one of the things that we have to look at is you have to develop your own intellect too. And in order for you to know what you want, there's some things that you have to do to be able to get there. And so you don't have time. When do you have time to read? When do you have time to read a book? I don't like reading a book. Okay, well, listen to it on
I was
the radio.
about to say, go get Audible.
Go get an Audible. Exactly. You don't have time to read. You can always listen and learn about different things. Learn about things that you would not ordinarily think to even do. And so one of the things that I do like, again, about TikTok is maybe there are places that I haven't thought about to go in Chicago. They have all these new places to go, all these new exhibits, all of these things, and you're looking at stuff and you're like, oh, that's cool. So I save it to my favorites because it's something maybe that I want to do. Right. And then not only that, I see different places in different cities that I've gone to or I haven't gone to, and I file them away under my things to do. And so I'm like, oh, this is something I definitely want to do. And so you guys gotta think like that. You gotta develop yourself. Engage in even meeting people. I don't like people. Now that's a running joke.
Why you keep talking about me and I'm sitting right here?
Sorry. Y'all hear that little sister voice? You hear that little sister voice? That is what is hilarious, because I told her before we started the show I was going to step on her toes all day. It's a whole week of stepping on Kim. So this is my thing. I tell people I'm not peopling today. I'm not peopling today. So I can push people back, and I don't feel guilty for doing it, because guess what? I'm taking care of me.
Yeah.
I'm taking care of me.
Yeah.
I shut my phone down. I might be reading in the center of my bed because that's my safe place.
Right. With everything spread around
me. God forbid that they come in and they see my bed, because God knows I have everything in my bed. And so I'm sitting there and I am taking care of me, meeting my needs. And it's okay. We think that's being selfish. No. I am taking care of me so that I can help take care of you.
Yeah.
And I can be a better me.
We have to redefine
That's what I want to do, is to spin that and shift it. Because that is the thing that we don't get. How can you be a better you if you are depleted, Kim?
Yeah, I can't help. Let's just look at our common situation now, right? You and Pharaoh, right? I can't help y'all record nothing or put nothing on air if I'm not okay.
Exactly.
And we've been there, low key.
And we have been. We've
been there.
Exactly. So why wouldn't you, is the question that you need to ask yourself. Why wouldn't you learn to dance if it's something that you wanted to do? I want to salsa dance. That's a dance that I love, or the bachata. Those are dances and things that I want to do, or I want to learn to step. Why wouldn't I do that?
Because we've taught ourselves to care so much about what the world thinks. And I think that it would be a combination of things for different women. But it would be like, part of it would be like, they would think this of me if I did it, or how do I will say this too. Sometimes, like, I literally won't post on social media if it's something fun, because I think people are going to be like, I know she ain't posting on social media. She got to do X, Y, and Z.
And why do you even think about it? Why do you even think about it? That's the thing.
Yeah.
I could be somewhere, I could be in church, or I could be somewhere right as things are getting ready to begin, and I'm going to post something on social media. I was up at 2 o'clock this morning, and I saw something that hit me. It struck me. I didn't want to lose it. I didn't want to lose the momentum when I go back and look down my timeline. And I'm like, let me post this. And somebody would probably be like, what are you doing up at 2 o'clock in the morning? Minding my business. Minding my business. But the thing that I want you guys to hear, there needs to be a paradigm shift between what you used to do to where you are now. You have to shift it, and you have to not feel the guilt part of it. What I'm saying is, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
That's the question. That's what I'm going to ask myself when I second guess anything. Why wouldn't you do it, Kim?
Why wouldn't you do it? And that's the thing. So we keep doing it. The other thing is don't just be good to others. Be good to yourself too.
Ooh. Ooh.
Sounds like I'm dropping some gems.
Ooh. Sound like you dropping some gems. It sound like you about to make the quote wall on my Instagram page.
There you go. So don't just be good to others. Be good to yourself too. And so those are the things. And also look at where things are appreciated and respected. And I think that's the thing where we get all upset, is we've done all of these things. We checked off every list. We've done everything on our to-do list, and it's not appreciated. What happens when that occurs?
Then we get pissed off.
Then we get pissed. And that's when you get the angry black woman.
I was about to say, that's when we get pissed off, and that's when we go from one extreme to the other, and we be like, well, I'm not going to do nothing for you then.
Exactly. And so I'm done having that conversation with you, because you don't even appreciate what I've done so for you. Right. What I did do. And I may not be finished with whatever the assignment is.
I have walked away mid-assignment like, you got me crazy.
Exactly. Because it wasn't appreciated.
Exactly.
And so that's the thing. So the thing also is trusting your own self and belief in oneself. Learning to trust yourself. Learning to trust your own judgment. And so while you hear information from other people, and that's super cool, what I do is filter it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I can hear it from multiple people. What do you think? What do you think? I could be asking for advice from people, and that's all well and good. But I filter the information.
Shirlyn has to make that decision, and she can keep into account everything everybody said.
Exactly.
But Shirlyn
is the person that has to make the decision, and Shirlyn is the one that has to listen and live to it, whatever the standard is that I'm setting. So those are the things that you guys need to hear, and those are the things that I want you to kind of twirl around in your mind and think about, because I had one quote that this was a quote that I heard Felicia Rashad say that came from someone else, but she said, where the woman goes, the culture goes.
Accurate. And I say even where the black woman goes.
Specifically.
The culture goes.
Absolutely.
We dictate.
Yeah, we dictate. We set the culture.
We really do.
So that's kind of where we are. And you guys, we got to get out of here and pay some more bills, but we'll be back in just a few more minutes with Dr. Shirlyn Speaks. Hey, you guys, this is Dr. Shirlyn Garrett from Dr. Shirlyn Speaks. I wanted to give you a tidbit of information. If you are in the Chicagoland area and you need counseling, I'm going to provide a resource for you, New Life, New Solutions, and Community Wellness Group. In order to have services, if you have a medical card, you can contact New Life, New Solutions. And if you are a private pay or have private insurance, you can still dial the same number, but it'll be under Community Wellness Group. Our intake coordinator there will be able to help you differentiate which service you would need. You can dial Evelyn Hernandez at 773-308-3362. Again, 773-308-3362. Or Albert Johnson at 773-386-1717. Again, 773-386-1717. That's New Life, New Solutions.
Starting a business? Grab Kim Brio's free brand identity checklist to remove the chaos around DIY in your brand. Get it free at kimbrio.com/checklist. That's Kim Brio. BRIO.com/checklist.
And we're back with WSOL New Soul Radio, Dr. Shirlyn Speaks. So you guys, I gave you a few minutes, and we're coming back, and we're going to hit some things hard. I'm going to wrap it up.
That wasn't the hitting it hard already?
No.
Oh, Lord.
No, get ready. So we're going to come back, we're going to fix some things, say some things, and talk about this, kind of wrap it up. And I have some items that I would like to give you for homework. Because guess why? That's the teacher in me, right?
Right.
So I've got to get you homework. But we're going to hit some other things real quick. And one of the things that we have to always talk about, and I was talking to Kim about this when we first met, is that during the pandemic, and I have to say there's still a pandemic, but during the earlier part of the pandemic, back in March, my girlfriends and I developed a group where we would speak to each other on Zoom every Saturday. And sometimes it went for 3.5 to 4 hours every Saturday. And so we had this vibrant group, vivacious group of women. And I happen to be the youngest woman. And my friend Iris and I. So we are the youngest babies of the group. And we have people that range in their ages from 60 on down to our age. Notice I didn't tell you the age. But anyway.
Right, they listening. You is not cracking
I'm
either.
not cracking. So we kicked it. And so we had Derby Day, we had Hat Day, we had all kinds of days. We had a particular theme, and we just made it fun for an entire year. And so we were just getting into it. We were reading books, we were laughing, we were joking, we were catching up with everybody's life on a weekly basis, and it was a sisterhood. Now, we still had the same sisterhood, but how we decided to end our weekly brunch was we decided to meet up in a location as soon as we could. So everybody got vaccinated, and when we could, we met up in June. And so that was over a year of having these weekly conversations, and we met up in June in Nashville and had a wonderful time. And we talked and we played cards and we played games. And my girlfriend Iris is the game master. Like, she's the game master. She had all of these games. And if you want somebody to design your games and themes and stuff like that, that is what she does. She is super good at it. And so we had just a weekend of girls and just experiences and wrapping it all up and having these conversations. And we talked in a group and we talked one-on-one, and it was a wonderful thing. And so now we have our group chat, and we chat and talk about things and send each other inspirational messages and all these things. So it's a sisterhood. Mm-hmm. Now I have my new chick, that's my little chick, that's my little self, that I talk to myself when I talk to her, and that's Kim, right?
I wonder who you're talking about.
I wonder who that is. So I'm pouring into Kim some of the things that I've discovered about myself along the way, and I've discovered from my older sisters, because they didn't want me to repeat the things that they had done. Right. So I'm giving Kim my wisdom. Not only am I giving it to Kim, anybody that really asks for the mentorship, I'm able to provide those things. And again, it's spending time building relationships and developing a healthy sisterhood. Mm-hmm. There should never be a reason why I can't see a woman of color and say, sister, you look good.
Exactly.
Sister, oh my God, you look amazing. You look beautiful. I do that all the time. Because guess what? I am not threatened by my sister. Exactly. My sister's success is my success.
It's a reflection of my success.
Absolutely. Correct. Absolutely. And so the same thing goes for me. There's no reason why my sisters, my friends, should not be sharing my information, sharing Dr. Shirlyn Speaks, because this is a lifelong goal that I didn't even really know I had any idea that it was going to come to fruition. But the fact that it did, you should be sharing these things, sharing those podcasts with other people that may not even know that they exist. So I'm going to say
this. Girl, you just said a whole mouthful and you don't even know.
Exactly. The fact that you developed this station overnight.
Girl, I'm waiting for some of my friends to care enough to share.
Well, we're going to talk about that. So that's the part of sisterhood that we have to develop. It's a deep appreciation and respect of each other. Mm-hmm. The key word is appreciation and respect. And so there we go. One of the things that we talk about is that we come from a way of acceptance with each other, understanding each other. We have to have compassion with each other. My sisters know that I have their back. They have mine. Mm-hmm. And then the other piece is I got to give it to you straight between the eyes. I can't make it sound good. I got to give it to you straight. And so the thing is my best friend, she always is telling me, you just clean it up. Just be straight. I said, no. The way that you give it to someone between the eyes is different. It's different from me. Right. And I said, but I tell stories. I go around. You feel like I go around the mulberry bush. That's not the case. I have to do it my way. Yeah. And so she's a straight shot, no chaser. That's what I call her. Straight shot, no chaser. She does not care if she wants.
Is that the one who be on the swing and if the stuff was
no, that's Ebony. but there's my best friend. She is Miss New Orleans. That's what I call her, Miss New Orleans. And she is straight shot, no chaser. She will get you, and you like, dang.
Did I just get got?
Yeah, you don't even wonder because you like, okay, where did the bullet land? Because she shot me. I mean, she was like, dang. I was like. What do they say? Man down?
Man down? Man down?
Yes. Oh, I got shot. Right between the eyes. I was like, dang, girl. Her favorite words are, I don't kick it under the table. I don't sweep it under the rug. You getting it straight shot, no chaser. And you have to have those people in your life as well. And she's like, I'm going to protect you. But when we get home, ma'am, we're going to have a talk. We're going to have a talk. Mm-hmm. And so her thing is always protecting me. There are people that have something to say. You can't say it to her.
Not about you.
Not about me. You can talk about whoever you want to talk about, but what you can't do is come to her and talk about me. Mm-hmm. So she's going to give it to you between the eyes. She's going to defend me. But if I'm wrong, she is going to get me behind closed doors. Mm-hmm. And believe me, there may not be anything left on my hide when she does. Because she,
Is that where you get it from?
Oh, that's where I get it from. Oh yeah, I get it from her. So I tell her I go to her school. I'm not gonna say her name live, but I will say Sandra. That's all you guys need to know. I go to the Sandra School of Charm and Whatnot, because it's the whatnot that gets you in trouble.
I wish y'all could have saw her face when she said whatnot.
The whatnot
was so loaded.
It was loaded. And so she gets you. Oh my God. I'm like, well, what's my grade today? You still at a C. I'm like, well, what do I have to do to get to an A? Because you know C's and my name don't go together.
Those are not, I was about to say, we don't get C's. That's the same thing as an F.
Right. That's an F. So she's like, I'm proud of you. You've moved on, so I guess you'll get a B now. I'm like, girl, when am I going to get to the A? She was like, you still got work to do. Man. Oh. No. What? Yes. You still got work to do.
Though. That's love. Real love.
That's real love. Mm-hmm. And so some people can't take it. They don't understand where it's coming from. But these are the things that we need, because when we're unpacking and taking this cape off around our neck and taking the S and peeling it off your body, you have to have your sisters that are going to tell you, girl, look, you need to slow down. You need to sit down. You need to stop. You need to go rest. Mm-hmm. And we're on vacation. I used to be the world's worst vacationer. I promise you, I had my backpack. I had all of my stuff. I'm out on the beach in another country with my dissertation topics, reading my articles, highlighting them, and all of that stuff with my work phone. And they were like, this is not vacation. Your phone is ringing like you are in the city. You're on vacation. What is this about? I'm going to throw this. If it rings one more time, it's going in the ocean. It is going in the ocean. I'm like, oh, let me turn it off. My whole thing is that you have to have people that hold you accountable. You have to hold yourself accountable, because there's a personal sense of accountability. But then also you have to hold those other people, your sisters hold you accountable.
Have that backup system.
That backup system. That's what I'm talking about. So those are things that I want you guys to reflect on. Figure out who this week is that person for you. You may have more than one, and that's cool if you do. That's even better. But those are the people that get you. I call those people my tribe. Mm-hmm. Those are my tribe. I think I'm kind of weird. And it's okay, because, again, that's my Aquariusness. I have a tribe of people that get me. I'm not for everyone. Right. I'm not that T.
And I'm okay.
Everyone. And I'm okay that I'm not for everyone. But those who get me, get me. Mm-hmm. They know. And so one of the things also, I want you to think about this over the week as I'm giving you guys the wrap up to this. I want to talk to you. I've spoken to you about those 5 key points to being the Superwoman Syndrome. And those are, again, the obligation to present an image of strength. No matter what, we got to be strong. I'm the strong black woman. 2, the obligation to suppress your emotions. I can't have feelings about anything that I just told you about. Number 3, resist the vulnerability or help from others. Number 4, the motivation to succeed against all odds. And then number 5, putting others before oneself. Now, this came from a research study, and I'll talk about that in our next episode of where it came from. But please understand, these are 5 things that are true about all women, but particularly African American women.
Yeah.
So the thing that I'm gonna challenge you with, here's your homework.
Okay.
To relieve stress this week, these are 5 things that I want you to do. I have a thing about 5. I don't know why.
I was about to say, you keep having 5 things.
I like
you got
5.
that, girl.
Yeah, I like 5. So one of the things is that you have to activities that emphasize breath work, so that you're breathing. Those are things that you need to do. Could be walking, could be riding your bicycle, could be yoga, could be many of those things. But things that activities that emphasize breath work. 1. Then learning to flip and say no. And the thing is that I catch myself often.
That's gonna be hard for me.
This week you need to practice it. So saying no, that is an art within itself. Okay? And I find myself saying no and then giving an excuse.
That's me. And giving an explanation for my no.
Yeah. And so that's what I mean. And so I'm like, well, here's the excuse part to it. Because it's not an excuse. It is an explanation. But I find myself saying no. Well, I'm not going to be able to make it. But this is because I don't owe them that.
No is a complete sentence.
It is a complete sentence. And put some exclamation points behind the no. So this week I want you to practice just saying no, because if you already are overwhelmed, what a lot of us are, we have a lot going on, and there's a lot going on. Period. Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Exclamation point!
With love.
With love.
No, can't do it.
I'm not going to be able to do that. So practice it. If you have a partner. This next one should sound a little bit like fun. Have more sex. Because sex releases some endorphins and some other things that are positive in your body.
Oh, man, I gotta go find a boo.
No.
I'm just joking.
Yeah, no. If you have a partner. So, we're going to watch Kim this week.
Y'all better watch me.
Number 4. Black girls do run. So running, yoga, again, the riding of bikes, whatever it is, dancing, any of those things that are going to cause you to do some movement. Yes, my kickboxing that I like with my pink gloves, any of those things. And then 5, you may not get into it this week, but it's something to think about long term. Therapy, therapy, therapy.
Yeah.
So those are the things that I want you to practice about over this week. And then next week, we're coming back to finish up this topic.
Whew.
We're coming back to finish up this topic.
Y'all.
No, I'm not. So we're going to come back and finish this topic up. And then again, I want you to call in and leave one word. What is your greatest superpower? Think about it. Just one word and hang up. You guys do that for many other things. I want to see what you're going to do for us at WSOL New Soul Radio. Again, this is Dr. Shirlyn Speaks. Thank you guys for listening and being a part of my show. I'm a woman who is convinced that she deserves the best, and I challenge myself to give the best, and then I'm living phenomenally. I'm Dr. Shirlyn at Dr. Shirlyn Speaks.
Starting a business? Kim Brio's 30-day brand takeover is for you. Get your new website, marketing plan, social media strategy, and all of the training you need in just 30 days. Apply now to see if you qualify for Kim Brio's 30-day brand takeover at www.30daybrandtakeover.com.
Okay, we're back for Dr. Shirlyn's shout-outs of the week. I have to give a shout-out to my girl, Kim Brio, for guest starring with me on today and taking all this stuff in, because it's a lot of work. She says I've been punching her every day, but I appreciate her being on this journey with me. And then to my best friend I had growing up, and she's still that. She's my sister, Tanisha Chappelle, Dr. Tanisha Chappelle, actually. And thanks, Tanisha, for your support of me. And then I want to share 2 sad things, but I have to shout out to my girlfriend, Elaine. She lost her mother last week, and we had just had brunch at her mom's house in June, and her mother was vivacious and so full of life. And so I'm so devastated to learn that she passed away last week, and her services are on Sunday, and that I can't be with Elaine during the services, but she knows that we are with her in spirit, and we'll be watching her. So Elaine, to you and your family, you know you have our love on the loss of your mother. And then for me, this week was the 12th anniversary of me losing my mom that raised me from birth. And so it felt a little different. I forever will miss her. And so Lorene Nelson Garrett, you are forever in my heart. And I miss having you around, and I know you would be very proud of who I've become, but I could not be who I am without having you and having had you rearing me from day one. I'm forever indebted to you, and you will forever be the wind beneath my wings.
This podcast contains excerpts from New Soul Radio shows. For the full listening experience with music, visit newsoulradio.com. That's NUSOL radio.com.
This station is powered by Soul Saying Company. What does your soul say?